Someone said to me that today that they don't see color, and they were, of course, referencing the fact of other ethnicities. And you hear this a lot, and you know that when people are saying that, they're trying to be magnanimous and saying that they realize that people are equal and that we all have equal rights under the law, and that there's really no difference between humanity, and all of these sorts of lofty ideas. But as I've been traveling on my journey away from racism, uh, I've learned how damaging that phrase is, and how detrimental it is to my own psyche and to the people around me. What I mean is that when you say that you don't see color, in effect you're saying that you don't acknowledge humanity. And what I mean by that is, if you see somebody, you can tell a lot about a person by the color of their skin. Some people want to say that, you're not supposed to pay attention to that kind of stuff. You got to pay attention to the individual and blah, blah, blah. And that's all well and good. And that's all very true. But if you see somebody who is, in New York or in your hometown or wherever it is, and they're clearly Asian, well, then you know that person has a history. And you know that person looks in the mirror every day and sees an Asian face. And they feel the challenges that go along with being Asian in America. Sometimes those challenges are very difficult. Or if somebody has very dark skin, you can fairly safely assume that maybe their ancestors were slaves that were brought over from Africa. Or perhaps their ancestors were immigrants from islands somewhere, or who knows what. But there's a lot of issues that come along with having a very dark complexion in America these days. And you have to acknowledge that. So when you say you don't see color, you're saying, I don't see your heritage. I don't see the struggles that you face. I don't see the obstacles that your ancestors have had to overcome in order for you to be in the place where you are right now. That's what you're saying. What you're also saying is that you don't want to have the awkward, painful conversation and go down inside your own heart and deal with the awkward, painful emotions of the race and ethnicity and the conflicts that are there and the history that's there. Look what happened to the Chinese slaves that were brought over to build the railroads out west. Look what happened to the Irish folks that came over. Look what happened to the African slaves that came over, and look what's still happening to them. When you say I don't see color, you're saying that you don't want to acknowledge any of those things. You don't want to acknowledge the dark parts of our history. You don't want to acknowledge the Japanese internment camps. That's what that means. That's what that phrase means. So, what I would encourage you to say is that you do see color. And that's fine. And that's good. And acknowledge it. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And embrace it and celebrate it. And it's fine. And if you're not comfortable with that, then say that you're not comfortable with that. Because that's okay too. If you're just starting out on your journey away from racism, I'd like you to think of it sort of like a journey away from alcoholism or drug addiction, smoking, or something that you're trying to change. And the first step is acknowledging where you are. That was the first step for me, was to say, oh, I'm totally a racist. Yeah, I'm a racist. I was never a skinhead. I didn't carry Nazi flags. I didn't do that kind of stuff. I was the worst kind because I was subtle. and I denied it from myself. I didn't have the kindness and honesty to just go ahead and put on a KKK mask and go to rallies and burn crosses. That might have been more sincere in a way, right? And that was one of those really dark, annoying, self-righteous Christian racists. You know, the kind that's maybe just a little bit worse than the liberal racists that we have these days. But you have to be honest with yourself. And you have to acknowledge where you are and identify it and own it. And know that it's okay. It's okay to be where you are. It's okay to acknowledge that you're an alcoholic. It's okay to acknowledge that you're a smoker. It's okay to acknowledge that you're a cocaine addict or a heroin addict or whatever it is, whatever dark path you've been going down all this time. It's okay. You have to. And the sooner you do that, the sooner you can start walking away from that. Just like the sooner you quit smoking, the sooner your lungs can start to heal. And the sooner you say, I'm a racist, the sooner you can say, I'm a recovering racist. And the way that you do that is to come at other people from a place of love and acceptance. I don't like using the word tolerance, because it's different. But love and acceptance and compassion. And the first step in doing that is to say, I see color. And stop saying I don't see color. It's hurtful to the people of color. And it's damaging to your own psyche. And it's a lie. You do see it. You can't not see it. There are facial features and there are other signs. There's ways that people move and ways that people dress and ways that people wear their hair. So you can tell. So, anyway, something to think about. I wish you guys all the best. Love you very much. And talk to you soon.